All right, welcome back to Oliver Unfiltered, bringing you the information that you need to know about Placer County, California, and beyond. Thank you so much for taking a moment to hang out with us. Today, we're talking about something so important. So I don't care what you're doing unless it's driving. Stop what you're doing, pay attention. Right now, I have Nicole Young with me. She is the chapter head and probably even more for Moms for Liberty and a big advocate for students' rights, children, parents, families, soccer. I don't know. I just feel like I got put it all in there. But
Definitely soccer.
what I want to do is talk about this crazy law that's being proposed where they want to take our children from us. But before we get there, so I got to drop that headline, the crazy law where they want to take your kids. Okay, but before we do that, I like your heading up this Moms for Liberty in Placer County. But you really started as just a mom for your family.
Yes. So initially, as far as, like educational rights, what started me was advocating for my kids. I have a son with a learning disability, so I found myself in that space just, after they told me, he's probably never going to learn how to read. I thought, we'll see about that. And he's going to graduate from college.
Get out of town.
Yes. And so, anyhow, that's how, and then education encompasses so many things, and you find that we don't have the local control like we think we do, even at a school board level. We get our marching orders from the state. So they're passing policies that they might be able to craft to fit our individual communities, but really they're mandated. And so, that led us to, and then of course COVID happened. And that
it just skyrocketed.
COVID
was an accelerant.
Yes, I was plummeted. I like to say I was an accidental activist. This was not something where I was.
That's what I say about me.
Okay, where I don't want to be in this sphere.
Yeah.
And
you mean you don't like being hated and yelled at and spit on and talked about and accusations and defamations and
yeah, that part's difficult.
That's not fun.
Yeah, having my husband's employment get affected, that's been challenging because of the position he holds in his company. That's been a little bit challenging to navigate, but luckily common sense prevails, and so. But so that's where I was.
I've seen, you at school board meetings. I mean, we have met on the front lines of battle many times, and I'm pretty willing to go all out, put myself on those front lines. And you're normally about 10 steps ahead of me, like leading a charge I'm like, hold on, we're coming. We got your back, girl. Which has been awesome because you fought for not only your son and his reading, which by the way, California number 50, the lowest in reading and comprehension. But you have fought also to get books that are pornography for kids out of our schools and out of our libraries. You fought to get guys out of our girls' locker rooms. You've fought to just really protect. And I think before we dive into, and I'm glad I have one of the most knowledgeable people on what the state's trying to do, but before we get to them trying to steal our kids, I think there's a big round of applause from parents all over the internets and the socials just saying thank you.
Oh.
Because there are kids who are in a better place today from the hard work you've done.
Well, yeah, and nothing happens in a vacuum. There's a lot of us, but I'm not afraid of the bad publicity. So I'm willing to stick my neck out. And so that's, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happens, but I don't mind being the one to take a lot of them.
You've done amazing.
Thank you.
And I'm glad I'm on your side because I think you've done so much good. So right now, I was shocked. Can I be real honest with you? This was like a sleeper. If it was a snake, it would have bit me because I didn't see it coming. I had no information. Somebody sent me a clip of a pastor in a church somewhere saying, hey, man, they're going to try to take your kids from school and they can pass medical, they can make medical decisions for them. They can move them into their house, and they don't need, it was as broad and scary as you can imagine. And I'm like, what is this? I had to quickly Google this AB 495. Mm-hmm. You know a lot about it.
So I actually testified about it in the Senate twice. For whatever reason.
Like testified what? In the last 2 days? In the last 2 months?
Well, it was in July.
Okay. Oh, so recently.
So recently. It was the beginning of July. So
it didn't bite you the way it bit me.
No, it did. It did. And part of what I do is tracking legislation and doing research on bills. And all of our legislature has to submit a minimum of I don't remember. I'm not going to say because I don't want this to come back, but there's a minimum amount of bills and it's large. So
each legislator must submit.
Yes. And then so they have a bill minimum, and I don't know if they have a maximum. Again, don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. I just know there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of bills introduced into session, every January. So it's really hard to figure out, and because we have a blue supermajority, it's really hard to track what the most destructive legislation is coming because there's so much.
There's been a lot. And you guys have brought a lot to the awareness, a lot to the forefront, to the attention, so we can do what we can to kill them.
So
the bills.
Because we don't have a voice in Sacramento, and please do not think that we do. Our Republicans, some work really hard, some just sit back and go, we're going to get beat anyway.
Yeah.
We don't have fighters. We had one. He's now a U.S. state's attorney. Bill Asaley didn't give a hoot.
A hoot?
He did not give a hoot.
He just let it fly past.
And no, Bill Asaley fought.
Oh, he did fight?
All the time.
That's right.
He fought with everyone. Right. Republicans, Democrats, he didn't care. He's going to fight with you.
He's just a fighter.
He's a fighter. Great guy, though. So what helps is public pressure, bringing attention. This got none because of the title. Family Preparedness Act. Family Preparedness and Preparation Act, something along those lines.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
We want families to be prepared for their preparedness.
And it was a freshman legislator who introduced it, Celeste Rodriguez.
Oh, so this wasn't Wiener dude.
No, this
Wiener
was
man
not.
Did not pass.
This was not.
Even though he loves the taking of children and the manipulation of kids, this was not. There's somebody else who's corrupt and perverted as well.
Well, I don't want to say corrupt.
Potentially
perverted. I want to say bought and paid for.
Ooh.
So,
that's also corrupt and perverted.
Well, yeah.
Let's go.
So we're. During the committee hearings, I am at the Capitol several days a week, going to different hearings to testify as a witness in opposition, very rarely in support because there's very few bills that we actually have a hand in.
Right.
It's few and far between. This particular bill we missed on the Assembly side. We were going to be in the Senate testifying against something else.
You're telling me it passed?
It passed
the Assembly already with no
flying
notice.
Colors. Wow. Nobody really spoke out against it. Nobody gave any statements on it. It was
okay. Well, let's update them before we get to the next part of it. Why this bill is so bad?
Okay, so let's break it down. This is geared towards immigrant families. This is geared towards parents who are undocumented or illegal, here illegally. What this does is when you're deported, so if you're a parent and you're deported, this allows somebody to come take guardianship of your child. Sounds great in theory, except all they have to do is have a familial-like relationship with the child, no blood, and download an affidavit off the internet and sign it, and there you go. So
when you say a familiar like, who's deciding that familiar like relationship? The child?
The adult who decides to take the child.
Oh, so a random person can decide, I have a familiar like relationship with your child, download the affidavit, sign it. They can't get a hold of you. He could say it's because you're deported.
Right.
But the reality is you could be in a medical procedure, you could be traveling, you could be, your phone died, who knows what.
Right.
They can't get a hold of you. Okay, well, you've signed the affidavit. You can take that child out, but it doesn't stop there. So now anybody can take your kids.
So yes. So anybody, and then you have authority to make medical decisions and educational decisions about that child, and you can move them into your home.
And living decisions.
And living decisions. So you can move them into your home. You can switch their schools.
So if it's a 14-year-old child who's in an argument with their parents because they don't want their daughter dating Billy anymore because Billy's a bad influence, and Billy's buddy, Johnny, who's 19, goes, hey, I'm just going to go get her out of school. I'm going to sign the affidavit. Well, mom and dad are at work and they're unavailable. We're just going to get her out. And then you guys can abscond and go wherever at 14 with a 17-year-old kid or a 21-year-old kid. And who knows what.
Right. And so what also makes this bill so dangerous is SB 59 by Scott Wiener and AB 1084 by Rick Zibber. Those are bills, one's on the Senate, one's on the Assembly. So they're called mirror bills or companion bills. And they're the same thing. There might be a few few changes here and there, but the premise of the bill is the same. It is being able to, as a minor, change your name and your sex marker on your birth certificate, and then your records are sealed. And you can do that without parental consent or notification. And it bypasses the court system, where it usually takes a month to 6 weeks to do that. It bypasses it, it fast tracks it, and then those records are sealed. So even though that's not aimed at immigrants, the 495 that's aimed for immigrants, you could potentially take that child, also at the same time have the child's birth certificate and sex marker changed, your birth certificate and sex marker changed, those records sealed, you never existed, you're gone. Wow. And you now have a child, and you can move that child anywhere. And you're completely under the radar.
And I know it's hard to imagine parents that are watching this because it sounds like, well, that's just way too easy. Have you missed what's going on in California? Have you missed the fact that there are grown men changing in girls' locker rooms and competing in their sports? Have you missed the fact that kids have been, with the parents' encouragement, mutilating their bodies, even though all across the world, the globe, they've said that this is bad, this isn't okay. But California stands out as this lone state of insanity. This isn't some hyperbole. This isn't some concept of maybe could be one day. This is on the docket now.
Right. And already there are laws that if your child does want to live as the opposite sex and you don't affirm that, you can go to school and tell their counselor, I have unsupportive parents, and they'll find you a place to live. Yeah. They'll find you a foster home. So that's already, they're called unicorn homes. That's already.
Of course they are.
That's already law. And then your kid goes to school and they never come home and you can't find them. So those are already laws. And
this is already why, I'm sorry to tell you, this is why I would never put my child in a public school.
So
never, ever, ever, ever.
So public schools, you could have the best school board around. Public schools are not safe.
Not safe.
And so
this passed the Assembly.
So 495 passed the Assembly. It's now on the Senate side. It's passed both committees with flying colors. It's headed to appropriations. Now, appropriations is just where the fiscal impact of the bill will be debated and determined. So
not the legalities, not the rights or wrongs.
That's already done. That was done.
So this is just fiscal impact, which is minute. Yeah. So it's going to pass that.
Oh, yeah, it'll pass that. Now, appropriations hears a lot of bills every time they meet. I don't know, 100, 200, things like that. So most of the bills, if they don't have a fiscal impact, they will be put on consent and then just pushed through.
Yeah.
With no debate or anything. I checked last night. This one's not on consent, but you usually don't know they're on consent until the day of, because the subcommittee will meet and figure out
what's a consent, what's a non-fiscally impacted bill.
And so this one will probably get. Again, don't quote me on this. I could be dead wrong.
I'm quoting her.
I could be dead wrong. It could be.
But the point is, whether it's on consent or not, the odds of it just going through are extremely high.
They're pretty high. And all of this has nothing to do with helping immigrants. Just like all the LGBTQIA bills have nothing to do with actually helping vulnerable people. There's money behind this.
Money.
There are groups, Equality California, those lobbyist groups, they're so powerful.
Yeah.
They're the ones making these decisions. So the bill...
Because just to be clear, if we really wanted to help people who are struggling with mutilating their body, we would get them mental help. Right. And we wouldn't be trying to find a way to have them spend taxpayers' money doing horrible things to themselves that they're going to regret. And if we really want to help people with immigration, we would be not finding ways to take their children away. We would be finding ways to help the immigration process if we really wanted to.
Right. And so the second time when this went before Senate Public Safety, Nicole Pearson, she is the attorney with Facts Law, Truth, Justice law firm. She offered to see people pro bono to help them set up guardianship plans,
right.
Help them with their papers. She's done immigration before. She offered that. It was like we weren't even there. It was like that. She never even made the offer. Yes. So she actually, God love her, she's such a fierce warrior. She actually waited for Celeste to leave the hearing and approached her and said, my offer stands. I would love to help you make this bill right. Let's fix this bill. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, maybe have you contacted my office? Because I'm really busy. Nothing. So
because they're not interested in helping families.
No.
They have money, and power, control.
So the bill sponsor is Chirla. They're an NGO out of Los Angeles. They're the ones who funded all the No Kings rallies. Those, again, were not organic grassroots movements. That's called AstroTurf. Chirla was funding it. Chirla also has a lot of ties to different trafficking organizations.
Wow.
So, again, this is not...
Again, when she's saying trafficking, she's not talking about Highway 65 when you can't move. She's talking about children being taken and sold in areas for sex slavery. This is not good.
And I think the legislature, so we have a blue supermajority again, and they have really bad Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
Every committee hearing I am in, they bring him up.
Wow.
Every single.
Even though he has nothing to do with 90% of what's in front of them.
You know, they don't understand state sovereignty, and that's the problem. They don't understand the Constitution, and they don't understand what state sovereignty means. So they see him as this omnipotent, all-powerful force of evil, and it's actually it's ridiculous, truly. And so I sit in there, I listen to these people who run our state fearmonger about things that are never going to affect our state.
Yeah.
Never going to affect our state.
Yeah.
He wants, first of all, the big thing, he wants to instate a national abortion ban. He can't.
Yeah.
He can't. Guess what? He can't, and he's never even attempted. The kicking back the Dobbs decision was because it was unconstitutional. That was a state issue. It always was. It was unconstitutional for the Supreme Court to make that decision. And guess what? We're in California.
It's back to the states. The states are making the decisions.
We have abortion codified in our California Constitution. We have laws on the books where we can abort up to the moment of birth and 3 weeks after, as long as you tried to obtain an abortion sometime during your pregnancy.
Oh, my goodness.
So I think that part might have gotten cut out because that was infanticide. That was by Buffy Wicks.
It's still gross. It's still gross.
It's very gross.
But they have this majority.
So this bill, although they're using it as an immigration bill, it is to show the blue voters in California we're pushing back against Trump. We're pushing back against
their flex.
It's a big flex. They don't care that children will be hurt in the process. They don't care that parents, immigrant parents still should be able to raise their kids.
Right. It shouldn't be taken by
their
somebody
children.
else.
They're all big on due process. Where's their due process?
Right.
Where are their rights? You're using fear to force these people into giving up the rights to their children.
But they used fear during COVID for everyone to give up their rights. They're doing it again. So the big question is this then. I mean, this has moved quick.
Right.
Like lickety split. It is happening. And unlike some of the other things that California is facing right now that have some big celebrity name and big power and money behind it to fight it, like the gerrymandering and the redistricting, one, who is the big name leading the revolt and what can people do? Because I have been hit up by more people and it's always the same clip. It's one pastor in this one church, which praise God for pastors in churches standing up and saying, let's call right and wrong. But you got this one pastor in one church saying, hey guys, this isn't good. And I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. Now I heard there's going to be a rally, so we can start there. But what else can they do? Don't say that. Don't.
No, there's always something. There's always something. And maybe it's not with this bill. Maybe this bill gets passed and...
Well, let's start with it doesn't get passed. I'm pulling up right now. What's the date of this rally?
It's going to be in appropriations on the 18th. The rally is going to be on the 19th. And I'm not up to speed on the details.
They haven't even announced a time for the rally.
Right.
They're just we're going to rally on the 19th.
And I know I was contacted from people down in Southern California who are chartering buses to get up here. There's going to be a big turnout. What they can do is in these districts where these people are voting, because I can tell you this from personal experience, nobody cares if you're there or not. Nobody cares if you pack the Capitol. Nobody cares. What they care.
I care if you're there. Come and say hi to me. I'll be there, and I want to see you there.
The legislators.
But they don't care. They didn't care about the kids being taken. They don't care about families. They don't care about parents.
What they care about is votes.
Yeah, and money, but votes.
And every person there is somebody's constituent who represents a vote. That power that we hold to either reseat those people or remove them is huge. And what the legislature often underestimates is the amount of power that the people still hold. Now, they try to tell us that we don't have it, but we actually do. Yeah. We actually are the drivers of our representative government. We are not just floating around.
I actually drove my representative once, as a driver. That was a different story, but no, they don't. They minimalize the impact of the people.
Yes.
But we are the voice.
Yes. And so what we do, and especially within the immigrant communities, and I don't just mean Hispanic, I mean your Slavic communities, I mean your Indian, your Middle Eastern, all of them, they're all in danger. What they're focusing on in the legislature is the Hispanics and the ICE coming for the Hispanics.
Yeah.
But really, we have a huge variety here. Up here in Placer County, we don't have a huge Hispanic immigrant community, but we do have a huge Slavic community.
Largest Slavic community, I'm told, in the nation.
In the nation. So those, even though they don't fit the picture.
Yeah, they're not fitting the narrative.
Right.
They're still
just as much in danger. So, and in different parts of California, there's different large immigrant populations, and they've all, so they're at risk too. And the important thing to do is to get somebody who they trust to tell them about this bill and tell them you've got to get your papers together. You've got to get your citizenship right. And then you have to vote.
Yeah.
You have to vote. You have to vote these people out.
Well, it's California, and so a lot of them are voting anyway.
Yeah.
And so just vote, to get these people out.
Vote to get them out.
Vote.
They're not going to protect your kids. They don't care. And I cannot stress this enough.
So if you've been watching, you've stuck with us this long, let's put some action pieces together. Action step number 1, get your kids out of public school. What are you doing? They're like, I care about you. Let's protect them. Action step number 2, you can actually call, email, write your legislator and tell them, hey, let's vote no. That only goes so far, but you can do it. Show up to the state capitol because I'm going to be there. I want you there. There's going to be voices there. And let's make sure they see us as a representation of votes, that we are there. We're not happy. We care about our kids and family. But despite what happens with this, there's ways they can get involved. School board meetings.
School board meetings, talking to your local representatives, city council, board of supervisors, your assemblyman or woman, your senator.
Yeah.
You build those relationships. You show up at their field days. You make sure they know your face. They make sure they know you're a vote for them or against them.
Yeah.
You make yourself known. You make sure they realize you work for me, not the other way around. I pay your salary. And I've had to say that before in committees. Eyes up here.
Yeah.
Look, McCarty, eyes up here. You work for me.
Yeah. We
I'm
get
your
to
boss.
remind them.
And making sure they know, you don't get to have this job without me, without my vote. And public pressure is amazing.
It's amazing. And this is why it's important, is because I heard Gavin Newsom say this once. I'm pretty positive that as California goes, so goes the nation. Well, they're trying to set some precedents that are going to put children, families, lives in danger all across the nation. And I'm not just doing this for my kids. I still have a 6, almost 7-year-old at home who, yes, is not going to public school, not going to private school, not going to charter school. I've ripped him out of the system. I've unplugged him from the matrix. And that's awesome. But now I have a grandkid on the way.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, it's not just about my kids, it's about the future generations, And you have a voice. Make it heard, make it known. So what you need to do is share this, inform somebody who thinks, oh, this is just an immigration bill. No, it's not. First off, anything Anthony Weiner's excited about, you should not be excited about. You should just be this is dangerous. And that guy is super excited about this bill.
Right. And the language in the bill is very broad.
Yeah.
It does not pass the first paragraph when it goes into who can take your kid. It doesn't really mention a whole lot about immigration. And the first time, again, it missed us on the assembly side. But when we finally caught it, I had about 30 minutes to prepare my 2-minute testimony on it. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to take pieces of the bill and read the bill back to them.
Because they probably never read it.
They didn't read it. They don't read it. And so
oh my goodness.
That's what I did. And then my friend, I call her my friend. She's kind of like a colleague, but we've developed this friendship. She testified. She also testified against it. And she used a personal story about what happened to her as a child and how easily she would have been able to be removed from her parents as a messed up teenager.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is you got these kids, parents, our job is to parent. It's to guide and direct and raise up these kids right. And they're not always going to like our decisions.
No.
Like I said, I have a 6-year-old and the other day he wanted pizza for dinner. And I'm like, no, you're not having pizza. We're going to eat some veggies. We're going to eat this. And it might have been the end of the world.
Oh.
Well, he goes to school the next day and goes, well, I don't like Dad because he made me eat vegetables.
Right.
I'm going to, go home with Billy's family over there or whatever. And there's enough creeps in the world. And
Yes.
if you don't know there's enough creeps, look at the sex trafficking that's gone on in this huge, and it's happening. I mean, even in Placer County, they say at one point the Galleria Mall was a haven for sex trafficking in the state of California.
And
haven.
It's so, we have, the California loves to tell the kids they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Just about everything.
No.
And And so it's muddying those lines where, you do get to tell your kids what to do. And again,
It's called parenting.
yeah. And with these
it.
laws, they use people they feel are vulnerable
Yep, and
as an
victims.
umbrella to pass, just like they do with the gay community. They use the gay community to pass these egregious bills. And, a lot of the supporters are standing up there clapping like trained seals. And I looked at one of them and I said, they don't care about you.
No.
If I walked into that office and I had a bigger checkbook than these lobbyist groups, they do exactly what I told them to do.
No, and that's gross. And the money is gross. So
It's gross. So just like with this, they're taking immigrants, they're taking the Hispanic community, they're using them as a shield, they're taking money from these lobbyist groups, and they're doing something that's going to hurt all of California. And I am a born and raised Californian. My great-grandfather immigrated from Greece to California, specifically to Bakersfield, but California nevertheless.
it's the armpit. You're right there.
Hey, man, I think you mean Jewel.
Oh.
Jewel of the Central Valley.
Is that what it is?
So, and my paternal grandparents came here over in the Dust Bowl as migrant farm workers, Hispanic migrant farm workers, and built a life here, raised a family. And so California is in my blood. It's in my bones. And I don't want this state to fall. Yeah. And you can run, but you can't hide. You think you can go to a red state and escape all of this. Guess what? They're coming for you.
Yeah.
You unplug your kids from the matrix. You get them out of a system that hates them.
Yeah.
And we're all qualified to educate our kids.
Yeah.
All of us. When I hear teachers say, I'm the expert.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's great and fine, and you can be the expert in your own mind, but I know my kids.
Yep.
And so every parent has that authority. It's not given to us by the government.
Well, this is what we're talking about is partnership. And, California has gone in this way where parents are unqualified, they're unverified, they're unable, so we're going to separate. I was sitting in a school board meeting where the teacher says, we want to teach the kids to challenge and question their parents on everything. And I thought, what a horrible thing. Like, I want to help encourage my kid. I want to equip my kid. And I don't mind asking tough questions, but there's a difference between us questioning concepts and questioning each other,
right,
and our motives and our heartbeat. But this is an opportunity to rally. So this is a request from me to you and from a lot of parents to you. We're not giving up. Even though I've unplugged my kid from the matrix, I still care about your kid, and I care about your grandkid, and I know you do as well. So we are partnering together to help fight back. So we want to encourage you, like I said, share this, spread the word, inform somebody, and then join us at the state capitol. And then it doesn't stop there. It's probably going to be on a ballot. So then we need to vote, and we need to vote. I mean, I say it's going to be on a ballot. That's not even true.
No, it's not going to be on the ballot.
Man!
It won't be on the ballot,
again.
but the people who wrote it and the people who support it, they'll be on the ballot. And if they're not up for re-election this time, you have time to find someone in your community who actually represents your voice.
There we go. So we're going to take action. And you know what? There'll be legal action involved in it, ways to get plugged in. But you know what I want to say? Join us at the state capitol. We're looking forward to be there. Thank you for taking a moment. Thank you for joining with me. We're going to talk about more stuff soon coming up about what's going on in our schools. But this is happening right now. So take action with us. Partner with us. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Tell the world. Thank you for joining. And let's continue to make Placer County awesome.